Hey guys, this is Mr. H. This is question 32 from the 2026 Algebra 1 Regents exam. This is a 4-point question and construct a response. Now, they want you to solve the system of linear, quadratic, or quadratic linear system algebraically. I am underline that. But even though they've said to do it algebraically, one of the things that I always teach my students is go ahead and find out what it looks like you before you start trying to do algebra. So what I would do and what I would have them do is something like this. Go ahead and graph it and then use Menu64 to find the intersections. So we would find this one. So we know that one of the answers is going to be 0, 3. And we do Menu64 again. We know one of the answers is going to be 3, -3. So we can do this right away. So we can go x equals 0, x and y equals 3, and over here we can go x equals 3 and y equals a -3. Okay, so we know if nothing else works, we get 1 point because we found the intersections, right? So, but what we're going to do now is we're going to do it algebraically. I like to teach this one. I think you could factor, but I generally like to teach my students to use the quadratic formula. I just think the quadratic formula is the go-to no matter what kind of quadratic equation you have. So I'm going to use the quadratic formula. You don't have to. You could easily factor this, but I'm going to use a quadratic formula. So generally, I'm going to do x squared. So y equals y. So that means these two equations, the quadratic equation and the linear equation, can be set equal to each other. I usually like to have the quadratic on the left-hand side. Doesn't matter, but we've just kind of gotten conditioned to do that. And then in order to use the quadratic formula, you need to move we got to set it equal to 0. So this is going to be plus 2x, add here, and then -3, we add here. So this is going to be 0, which is what we want. And down here is going to be x squared, 1x squared. A -5 plus 2 is going to be a -3x. And then plus 3 minus 3 is just going to be 0. Now, a lot of students don't see, they always think that you have to have a positive or negative number, but in this case, it's 0, which is fine. So that means that the A is 1, the B is a -3, the C is 0. Now, from here, I have my students go ahead and enter this into your formula. So this will be a -3 plus or minus the square root of a -3 squared minus 4 times A times C, right, over 2 times 1. Now, from here, we take the calculator and let the calculator eat. So we're going to go here, main screen, we're going to store 1 into A, pop, pop, pop. Now, in this case, you might say, oh, that's a lot of work to do, but I think it's good practice because they always have quadratic formulas on this exam, and the more and the better you know how to use it, the better you'll do. So I'm going to store 0 into C, boom, into C, and then I'm just going to type in the quadratic formula. So it's going to be control divide. Now I actually type in the letters. So this is going to be -b plus the square root of b squared minus 4a times c over 2a. All right. And then I press enter and I got 3. We knew the right hand one was going to be +3. And now all I do now is just copy this and change the plus to a minus. And my second one is 0. So those are my two x values. So that's what I would put here. Well, I've already put them there, right? Because I've already graphed it. So x is 0, x equals 3. Now, in order to get the last point, we have to show how we calculated y. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, move it up here, take this one, move it up here, right? And then I'm just going to do some algebra. So it's going to be y equals a -2 times 0 plus 3. So this is going to just be 0. So that means y is equal to 3, which we already have. And then over here is going to be y equals 2 times 3 plus 3. So, oh, wait a minute, that's a negative 2. So this is going to be a negative 6 plus 3, which is a negative 3. And we're done. Now, this would be 4 points. Now, I use the quadratic formula. I know some of you might have factored it. We could have completed the square as well. Any number of ways to do this, but I like the quadratic formula. It's my go-to, and that's what I teach my students to use. And I'm hoping that they were able to get through this question, at least get 2 to 3 points, hopefully 4, but that's what we do. So that's your answers. X equals 0, y equals 3, x equals 3, y equals a negative 3. All right, I'm going to stop and post.